Do you consider yourself a gamer?
Yes, I do. Since I was 5, yeah. My first gaming system was an Atari 2600.
What is the
Been
term?
playing.
Good.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
What does the term gamer mean to you?
Person who loves to play games. It's not like some kind of weird identity. We're not an oppressed culture. None of that bullshit. It just means you like playing games. It's like saying that you're a fan of comics. You're a comic book enthusiast. Like we just happen to have a kind of catchy term for it.
Is that a gendered term for you?
No, no, my wife's a gamer.
On August 28th, 2014, 10 competing publications all published articles on the same day calling for an end to the gamer identity. These 10 articles were followed by 9 additional articles on other mostly gaming sites over the next few days, also calling for an end to the gamer identity. How do these articles make you feel?
Like the gaming press lost the plot a long time ago, and I mean the reason they all said this is all because one of their buddies got upset because they upset one of their friends, and that just shows that shows the collusion in the game media where they'd rather press a message forward and hate on their audience rather than just being fucking normal and realizing, yeah, shit got weird. Private details got leaked. Things probably were said that should have been said in public, but it was said by someone who was a victim of domestic abuse. Just because he's a guy, and just because he's a guy that was friends with your developer friend, doesn't make that anything less that you should just denounce. And you shouldn't be saying that all gamers should go jump off a cliff just because you don't like the fact that we don't like being told not to listen to a victim that you don't like.
I mean, pretty much under almost no circumstances, barring like very weird exceptions. To be clear, I've never read the blog post you're referring to, but pretty much under like no circumstances do I think like, you know what, I'm going to leak private details about my relationship that ended badly just because I'm like super upset that I got cheated on and like that I feel like it was a shitty relationship and I was emotionally abused.
If I remember all that happened correctly, he felt very cornered and ostracized because he was in, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, again, it's been a while, but I believe he's part of the gaming press. And she was basically dragging his name to the mud to all the other gaming press people,
I
basically
don't
pushing him
know if he
out.
was part of the gaming press. I
He
don't think
I don't
that's
I can't remember
true.
if, I can't remember if he was gaming
No,
press
I
or
think
a
that's fake
developer.
news. No, he wasn't either. He
I
was a
can't.
programmer maybe. I don't know. I don't care
Yeah,
about him or any of this
I'm just
stuff,
saying.
but
I'm just saying. Like I believe he just felt cornered because of how she was using the social circle that was around both of them to shove him further and further out. I can't remember if he was game press or a programmer. It's
uh,
been way too long, and I'm
he's
not
just
going to
some
try.
random
Don't
dude
quote me.
basically.
Even if he's just some random dude, he felt pushed out and felt like no one was listening to his side of the story. So he just blah. Now, do I agree with doing that? No, I don't. I personally wouldn't do it either. And I'm not going to go into the ethics of that necessarily because it's their private relationship. And honestly, I can't hold him to my standard of what I would do because I don't know. I'm not living his life,
Well,
so I
you
can't
brought it up,
say
so why would you bring up this random thing?
why would I bring up this random thing because that was the inciting incident for Gamergate. That was the inciting incident. PSA Stitch has a great video on it. It was basically one small table where this relationship drama happened. This guy posted it. It got some small degree of traction. And so then she went to all of her gamer press friends with this and said, "Oh my God, I'm being bullied and harassed." And they decided we're going to stand up and fight. And instead of going to the people that were having the issue, they just lashed out at everyone in the room. They lashed out at everyone in gaming, saying, "This is not right. This is horrible." And it's like, okay, I get it. It was a relationship drama. I get that you were friended for on behalf of your friend, and I get that you weren't liking the reaction they were getting, but maybe like say that this one community might have an issue. Maybe they're supporting a bad guy that we don't know about. Maybe let her side of the story be told. not just end gamers because gamers are terrible because they treat women like this, like bullshit, when it was like the guy in the relationship that was apparently treated like bullshit. I
So you
mean,
consider GamerGate to have started with not with the Gamers Are Dead articles or the backlash against
that
that sort
was
of
what
thing, but
incited.
with
That's what incited those articles. Those articles were a direct reaction.
so you consider this blog post and people on the internet talking about that to be the start of GamerGate?
It is, yes. Like if you want to go back to the timeline, that's where it started from. That was the inciting incident that incited all of those posts about gamers being dead, because this guy got traction in a gaming community commiserating with how this person was treated and commiserating how like this developer is being treated and being talked about in this community. And so they lashed out at everyone, and everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are we dead? What the fuck are you talking about? And it just started a brawl between everyone there.
But to be
That's
clear, though, there were some individuals, and these are anonymous individuals, and who did harass Zoe Quinn
yeah, I'm
because of this
yeah,
drama.
that's always going to happen when drama goes on the internet. That's always going to happen. So the correct reaction to that is to block those people and report them to the police for if they do something that's illegal, like doxing you or swatting you. You know, there is a proper way to respond to this, and it happens to everyone, man or woman, on the internet when there's drama. Like that's the first thing people do is you'll have death threats and all this fucked up shit. It shouldn't happen, but that's unfortunately what happens.
Well,
You know,
anti-Gamergate people say that this event happened, and there was also some ethical concerns that were perhaps genuine. We saw with a number of different publications, in both
well
with that and with
that's
three
what
over the
pulled
next
back the
three
curtain.
weeks.
That's what
But
pulled back the curtain.
you're not letting me finish. At the same time that there was people talking about ethics, there was also people engaging in harassment, and that harassment story is a more important story than like a games journalist who promoted a game over 49 other games, but it was like a relatively minor promotion. I mean, like minor-ish. And you know, Patricia Hernandez, or another games journalist will say, I'm not going to use names too much. Another games journalist promoting her roommate's artwork or her roommate's game, and another games journalist promoting, uh, her friend's game, and like like all these games journalists are making these mistakes, but who gives a shit? It's games journalism. Whereas like this person's life is being targeted by bad people on the internet, on Twitter and on 4chan and stuff.
I would say that that's going to happen no matter what you do. If you put yourself out in, if you put yourself out on the internet for at any level, there's weird shit that happens to you, and that's an unfortunate thing. But saying that something needs to be done about that and something needs to be done about games journalism are two entirely different things. The harassment happens regardless of whether it's like gamers or lifestyle influencers or makeup influencers or streamers online. That harassment happens regardless. That harassment is not going to stop. It's not going to stop. Like there are still people that have stalkers to this day going after them. My wife streamed for a very short period of time, and she already got one weird guy that was looking for her constantly online and trying to IM her through her Discord and shit. Okay, it just fucking happens, right? And so I'd love to say we can fix that. I'd love to say we can go after those people. The laws don't really exist well enough for that to happen, and because it's they have to do some kind of act first that actually breaks the law before they can actually be charged with anything, it causes a lot of problems for people. And do I feel terrible that people get harassed? Yes. Do I think something should be done about it? Yes. Do I think laws need to be written about it? Yes. Do I think these people should be more liable for charges? Yes. Do I think any of that's going to happen? No. Why? Because fucking Congress doesn't understand what TikTok is. How the fuck can you make them understand anything else? If they don't understand basics of internet, how are you going to get them to write a proper fucking law that's going to stop the harassment? No corporation cares about harassment. They'll pay lip service to it. They'll throw money at victims' funds for it. But they'd rather lobby for their own games to be tax exempt and shit than to actually use any of that lobbying influence to actually help people. That should be something that the games press talks about. But do they? No. That's why ethics and games journalism matters, because they don't ask important questions like this. Like, do you understand the amount of lobbying that the ESRB does on gaming's behalf?
Why did the 4chan people create a chat room called Burgers and Fries? Isn't that kind of sexist?
Again, there are shitty people on the internet. What do you want me to do about them? You want me to go to each one of their houses and tell their moms?
But
Is that what you want me to do?
Burgers and Fries was used by some GamerGate supporters, albeit a small number. But some people who supported GamerGate were there.
There's a dude who quote unquote supported GamerGate that told me through Twitter that he's just there to cause shit for no good reason. That's what happens online. You have trolls. Shocker. They've been around for a while. I realize people are shocked by this fact that 4chan has trolls on it, but 4chan has trolls on it. And some of them are sexist, some of them are racist, some of them are all of it. Some of them are fucking neo-Nazis. Some of them are fucking probably serial killers we just don't fucking know about. Some of them are fucking pedophiles. We don't know. They're anonymous. That's the whole point.
Should the people who cared about games journalism have done more to try and distance themselves from the burgers and fries type of language?
The no true Scotsman of the whole thing. The problem is that there wasn't a membership card for Gamergate. Like we didn't have a bouncer at the door, right? Saying you can come in, but you can't. You can come in, but you can't. It was like a hashtag movement. So saying that's what would happen is that you'd end up having to say, well, I don't about these people. Is the reason why leftist memes fail, because they have to accommodate for any kind of criticism of said meme inside of the meme. Because how dare you like say something that could be misinterpreted? You don't want to misinterpret anything, so make sure you distance yourself from these people. Make sure that it suits this narrative. Make sure that it covers these things that could be counter arguments to it in amongst your own group, and then post meme. It's like 14 pages long. That's why people joke about leftist memes, because that's how they do them. It's fucking stupid. It's because they have to be so diverse about every single thing they say, and that's why the right's memes are always funnier, because it's just a short thing that you can interpret however you fucking interpret. You know, I'm sorry, they just suck at communications because they have to sit there and do 20 caveats before they can say one thing to you.
So why do you think these gaming sites all wrote these articles on the same day?
Because they're on Games Journal Pro. Come on, man. You know this. You were there.
But to be clear, Games Journal Pro did show collusion, and it did show attempts to blacklist developers and games journalists.
Yeah.
But it did not show direct collusion about these specific 10 articles.
It didn't have to. Come on now, they're all friends.
I'm sure there were other mailing lists and other online groups and social circles.
Or just a phone call or a text message. Sure.
No, I think that there's like a high degree of probability that there was collusion.
There's
probably like
certainty.
99, probably like 95%.
There's a certainty. There's a certainty that there was collusion, because no way do they all have this hive mind where, oh, we all are going to think the same thing at the same time. This isn't a games release where everyone knows there's going to be an arc about the games release, right? No, they all wrote these like either in a group chat, or they all talked about writing it, or they all mentioned it to one another. It's too fucking blatant. It's too fucking blatant to not be collusion, right? There's no other explanation. There's none. You can't tell me that independent writers from independent organizations just one day woke up and said, I'm going to write a Gamer is Dead article. No. Bullshit.
If the games press had tried to reform, or even just ignored ethical questions instead of publishing the Gamers Today articles, do you think that GamerGate still would have happened, or still
No,
would have been a big thing?
no. The Gamers Are Dead articles are what kicked the hornet's nest, because no one likes to be attacked, right? No one likes to be attacked. Doesn't matter what it's for. No one likes that. And the fact that people were like causing this kind of thing, it's like back in the day when they said games cause violence, right? When that started happening, what did everyone do? Everyone who was a gamer rallied together and said, "No, they don't, you fucking idiots." Because no one likes to be attacked for what they enjoy, right? And I mean, that's the thing. I am the type of person that if you enjoy something and you love it, good. In this world, there's too few of those things, right? Fucking enjoy what you love. Enjoy it. Revel in it. Love it. Promote it. Do what you want for it. But when you decide you want to hate on something, think twice about doing that, because you don't know what you're fucking doing. You don't know what you're fucking doing. And if you think twice about it, you really want to say something, go for it. But understand there's going to be backlash to that, right? Like when I say I hate Star Wars, I know I'm going to get hatred back from people that love the sequel trilogy for whatever fucking reason. I don't know what brain damage they have, but for whatever fucking reason, they like it. And I know people who like the prequels, and I say I fucking hate the prequels. I think they were terrible. The fact is, I've considered that opinion long enough to feel comfortable in saying it, right? I feel comfortable if someone's going to come and give me backlash about that. I feel comfortable saying it, but I'm not going to say anyone who loves the prequel should go die in a fire. No, if you love the prequels, fine, fucking love them. I think they're fucking terrible, you know. And yes, I offhand say if you like the sequels trilogy, you probably had brain damage. Yeah, that's what I think. That's my opinion. I might just be a rude idiot. That's fine. But you probably don't have brain damage. You probably love them for some other reason. It's probably your first Star Wars experience and you loved it. Great, wonderful. Have that experience. Don't mind fucking me. I'm just a random shitload on the internet,
Would
right?
you would you have been open to hearing out the games press if instead of publishing those articles, they instead wrote one thoughtful and nuanced article talking about what they perceive as being negative aspects of gaming culture, while also
I would
recognizing the positive and
I'd
not
probably agree
demonizing
with
the
him for
gamer
the
critic?
negative stuff. I'd probably agree with the negative stuff. I've been around long enough to have been in COD lobbies, okay? I've been to the COD lobbies.
Yeah, it wasn't always the best, highest level of discourse in the world, I guess.
No, no, there was lots of N-words being said.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were all black.
Would
Unless I
you?
play with primarily black people, which would be really shocking to me.
Why would it be shocking to you? Do you not associate with black people? No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. Oh my god. Okay, I had to do that. I'm sorry. We can take that out of the book. That was just a funny moment. I'm sorry. All right. Uh,
Well.
all right. Uh,
You don't know that meme. I won't. That meme will get canceled faster than what you just said. So
so obviously you think that like the world is not great, um, right now in its current state of affairs.
no,
But
I think it's not.
so, but these are companies that care about money more than anything else. Why wouldn't they just say, "Hey, look, a bunch of our readers are upset. We kind of pissed off the gamer audience with these Gamers Are Dead articles, and we also have a lot of kind of corruption issues that people have been known about for a long time, but are now getting really exposed out in the open. Let's just fucking implement some basic reforms, and they'll fuck off and go home." Why not just do that?
Because they aren't games journalists, right? Most of these people come from some other aspect of life, and they've failed their way to this point. There might be a few gaming enthusiasts that were out there, but for the most part, if you read their articles about games reviews, they rarely can avoid saying some kind of hipster bullshit that is just in there for their friends who are also struggling writers who had to take this job as a games journalist. It's like, I can't get a job with the Times. I can't get a job with some other press. I guess I'll just write about games. These idiots. The way, like, you could tell how they write the reviews. They were not enthusiast press, right? And that's what they used to be. They used to be people that wrote about games because they loved games and gaming. And while there are still some that do that, more of them are just people that fell into it because they were the guy that just happened to, like, it's sort of like the where I work now. The IT guy that you work with in a client's place might just be the guy that just happens to know a little more IT than anyone else. These are just the guys that happen to know some more games or happen to be the guy that got assigned the game stuff. But the reality is they really want to write about something else, something more socially relevant. And so that's what they did. And that's why they wrote the Gamers Are Dead articles, because they don't care about gamers. They never have and never will. They care about the clout they get for being a writer and working with these publishers. That's what they care about.